5-0 win for Liverpool away at West Ham. And yet it could easily have been so much more. Salah alone could have had 5 goals himself, but for some but for some uncharacteristically poor finishing. And yet it was such a dominant performance for Liverpool, from back to front, start to finish. 5 goals, 5 different goal scorers. And actually the match, when it initially started, maybe for the first 20 minutes or so, West Ham didn't do too badly, all things considered. Although Liverpool had a couple of occasions where they were able to get some big chances, especially the first few minutes when Gakpo played that the pass for Salah, and the shot was saved by the goalkeeper. But by and large, West Ham, they defended quite compactly. They didn't really give up a lot of space for Liverpool to work with in the final third. And it did take quite a while for that first goal to happen. And even then, it was a bit of a ricochet going on, in and around the box, which fell kindly for Diaz to take his shot and get that 1 goal lead, to score that first goal. But then, as after that first goal, then as the match wore on, then it became 2-0, and then 3-0. It started to become increasingly easy for Liverpool to keep cutting through that West Ham defense over and over and over. And so many chances, especially the ones that came Salah's way, but a number of them saved by the goalkeeper or just off target altogether. And in fact, so about the first maybe 20 plus minutes or so, again, West Ham defended compactly. But after that, things changed. Something changed, in the West Ham team. I don't know what, but just looking at it, there's people have said before this phrase, a game of two halves. West Ham looked like a team of two halves. They had their attacking half, they had their attacking players, the wingers, the striker. Throughout the match, even as the scoreline got more and more lopsided, West Ham's attackers were still trying to attack. They were still on the ball. Whenever they had a ball, they were still trying to make things happen. They were still attacking. They were getting crosses in. They were making dangerous situations. They were taking shots. And there were times when the Liverpool defense had to be alert. There were a couple of shots that were deflected out for corners or whatever. There was the header in the second half that hit the bar. So in that sense, West Ham's attackers gave a fairly decent account of themselves. All things considered, especially in the face of this scoreline, and the fact that they were still trying to make something happen, and just the sense I got that that they haven't given up. They were still trying to at least score 1 goal and salvage some pride. But then you see the West Ham defense. The West Ham defense looked like they had just completely given up. After 2-0, after 3-0, they looked like they had given up. They looked like they didn't know what they should do. They looked like they didn't know what they were doing. And just time after time, there will be some kind of very zigzag type of defense line, and it just became easy for any Liverpool player to run off them. In particular, Salah. And the number of times you would see a West Ham player raise his hand, say it's an offside or whatever, but it turns out that Salah is onside because someone else, was that 3, 4, or 5 yards slightly deeper, playing everyone on. Yeah, so in that sense, West Ham looked like a team of two halves. Yeah, but that's it. As bad as West Ham's defense was, Liverpool's attack had to be very good to take advantage of the situation. And they were good enough to score the 5 goals that they did. They were good enough to create many, many more chances that could have been put away. But again, just unfortunate that some some poor finishing from Salah, which on another day he could have had 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. Again, he had that early chance at the first half that was saved. He had the chance, I think it was the second half, goalkeeper saved as well. There was there was one or two that just went wide. There was a couple of occasions when he could have taken a shot himself, but he didn't. And so it's just so it could have been so much more, but okay, probably getting a bit greedy. If asking for 6, 7, 8, even 5 is a lot already. 5 is already a very big hammering. And as a whole, Liverpool, looked really imperious. In attack, they looked unstoppable. In defense, okay, they weren't exactly all out, perfect in defense. If I'm being nitpicky, yes, they didn't concede, but there were situations when it looked like West Ham could have troubled them. And yeah, correct. In the first half, Kudus it was the West Ham winger. He had a shot that hit the bottom of the post. So that was one situation. Then they had the header in the second half that hit the crossbar. So but okay, sometimes it's hard to be perfect in terms of completely shutting down and preventing even a single chance. So Liverpool did well, very, very well overall. And then it's nice to see the attackers getting their goals. Gakpo had one, then Diaz had the first one, then it was Gakpo who had the second. Then after that, Salah had the third goal. Then Jota was the last to score. He had the fifth goal, along with Alexander-Arnold scoring the fourth one in between. But it's nice to see the attackers getting their goals. Everyone chipping in, and goals for forward players, it always boosts their confidence. It always, it's always that it's a tangible, quantifiable measurement of their contribution to the team in a match for the season. You look at Diaz and Gakpo, they're both scoring, not as regularly as Salah, but they're still putting up decent numbers. And I think there was a stat saying that Diaz has now equaled his best goal scoring return for a Premier League season. I think he's got 8 goals now, I think it is. So 8 goals for Diaz is his personal best in the Premier League, and there's still half a season to go. Where previously he was at best an 8-goal winger, in previous seasons. At the rate that he's going now, he could maybe finish with 15 goals in a season. And the old saying is that if your winger or your secondary forward players can chip in with 10 to 15 goals in a season, that is a very good return. It will help the team tremendously. So you've got Salah, who is far and away, scoring the kind of goals and the number of goals that he does. You've got Diaz now chipping in as well, and then Gakpo as well. I think he has he's already crossed 10 goals in all competitions this season. He's playing with more and more confidence, and I'm happy for him. Seeing how well he's doing so far this season. I've mentioned before, previously, that whenever I saw Gakpo play, especially last season, he looked completely bereft of confidence. He looked like sometimes he was trying too hard. Sometimes he just had the kind of just nothing seemed to be going right for him. And anytime when he would have a shot and it was saved or off target, it didn't go in, he would look like his shoulders would slump, his head would drop, and again that kind of feeling like he just couldn't do anything right. And then even when he did score goals, he didn't look happy to be scoring goals, because I mentioned just earlier, goals Goals bring confidence to forwards. And I felt that last season, it looked like he was at a stage where even scoring a goal was not able to pick up his confidence, which looked like and felt like it was completely on the floor. But now this season, he looks rejuvenated, he looks revitalized, he looks like a completely different player. Again, more confident, just more willing to back himself to do the kind of things that he can do. The kind to utilize the kind of skill set that he has. The cutting in from the left and curling a shot with his right foot, which is almost effectively like a mirror, almost like a mirror image of what Salah does on the right. Last season, I don't think Gakpo would have had the kind of confidence to to take that kind of shot, much less score that kind of goal. But now this season, he's done a lot more of that, Granted, he didn't score that type of goal in this match, but just through the season in general, he's been more willing to to back himself, and just more confident, as I say. And then you get to Mo Salah. Today, what's his tally for today? 1 goal and 2 assists, I think it is. The first assist, the one for Gakpo, just incredible. First, it's an incredible awareness to leave the ball be when it was initially lifted to the right. Probably he was aware that he was offside or whatever, so he left the ball and he went. He just veered his run back to the center, to provide to make himself available to receive the pass from Diaz, who was on the right at that side at that moment on the right wing, and then just I don't know how he did it. It just seemed like a feint and a touch, and then in a flash, he got past the defender who also looked like just completely bamboozled and surprised by him, and then just a very gentle layoff for Gakpo to score, and then that second assist, the one for Jota at the end there, picked up the ball, ran from his own half. At various different times, he was surrounded by like what, 2, 3, 4 different West Ham players who seemed to who looked like they were taking turns surrounding him. Skip past this challenge, run past that tackle, and then as the West Ham players looked like they were going to try and close down any kind of shooting angle that he might try to create for himself. Just another simple layoff for Jota, who was there waiting, and Jota curls it in. Fantastic play from Salah to create this goal scoring chance for Jota. And he was effectively like a one-man counter attack in that particular situation, and then of course having that Jota support right at the end there. And in total, it was a counter attack that consisted of 2 Liverpool players versus 3 or 4 West Ham players, and Liverpool still scored. Salah is just absolutely incredible. What he is doing this season, and the way he is, the way he has powered and propelled Liverpool to the top of the table. He looks like he could, with his current form, he could continue doing all of that all the way till the end of the season, and maybe in the other competitions as well. It just feels like with Salah in the form that he currently is in, and with the other forwards also chipping in, and contributing with their goals, Liverpool being top at Christmas, being top at New Year's, and I think Liverpool definitely very heavy, very firm favourites to be top of the league table at the end of the season as well. Just fingers crossed that Liverpool can stay top of the table all the way till then, and that there will be something big to celebrate at the end of the season.